Welcome back to Transform Your Space with Chi. In this lecture, we take a major step forward in bringing Chi into our home by decluttering the space. Most feng shui consultations start with advice on decluttering. Too many of us in the developed world are drowning in stuff, finding ourselves owned by our things rather than owning them. Decluttering isn't just a one-time event done and over with. Rather, to maintain Chi in our environment, we must shift our attitudes towards our possessions and our space and stay vigilant in keeping clutter out of our homes. To begin, let's look at this quote from Marie Kondo's famous book. When we really delve into the reasons for why we can't let something go, there are only two: an attachment to the past or a fear for the future. As a result, we increase the number of unnecessary possessions, burying ourselves both physically and mentally in superfluous things. Many of us probably can relate to what Kondo says here. Before we start throwing random things into garbage bags, we must first do the deep internal work of understanding why we've let our possessions get out of control. Why are we holding on to our child's notebooks from kindergarten? Why are we keeping jeans we haven't been able to get into since we had our first kid? Why do we keep buying kitchen gadgets we never use? Taoism, like many other spiritual teaching, stresses the importance of the present moment over the past or future. In order to allow Qi to flow, we must embrace the now. We must let go of the past and trust that the future will take care of itself. That doesn't mean you have to throw away all of your kids' art or the complete collection of your grandmother's handmade pottery. Know that human beings have the ability to cherish only a few items at a time. Select just a few and frame it, display it, feature it. See my Pinterest board, How to Display Keepsakes That Spark Joy, for ideas on how to give cherished items the place of pride they deserve. Then let the rest go. We would all benefit from taking a more minimalistic approach to life. Minimalism isn't about eschewing all material pleasures. Rather, it's about taking greater pleasure in life by reducing our possessions to those things that we truly appreciate and not getting weighed down or distracted by all the other things. I see this with my own kids. When my kids get loads of new toys for Christmas, they flit from one toy to the other, not really giving any toy a chance to stick. After all their initial excitement over the new toys, they always end up feeling deflated, not appreciating any of the toys all that much. It's the same with clothes. After I purged my closet and I reduced my wardrobe to the bare essentials, I had less angst about what to wear every day and appreciated what I had more. I had saved only the clothes that made me feel good wearing on the body I have today, not clothes that I used to fit into or hope to fit into someday. When I look into my closet, I see a reflection of who I am now, rather than feeling disappointed in not being who I used to be or stressed about who I'm trying to be. Minimalism extends to all areas of our lives. Are there things you have filling up your time that make you feel overwhelmed and dissatisfied? Are there relationships that drain you and require too much emotional energy? Streamline your life so that your time is used for things that matter and you prioritize the relationships that are meaningful to you. Let go of everything else. You'll end up with less of everything, but the fewer possessions, obligations, and relationships will become more meaningful because you now have the space to truly enjoy them. Once you've arrived at an understanding of what's important to you now and what you can let go of, you can start the actual decluttering. There are many different ways to go about this. You can choose the best method according to what makes sense for you and your space. The first method is the most common one, and that is to work on one area of the house at a time. Perhaps you start in the kitchen or your bedroom. You conquer one room at a time. The next one is the one advocated by Marie Kondo. She suggests purging all your clothes first, regardless of the room, and then moving on to books, paperwork, etc. If you're results-oriented, it might be satisfying to measure your progress by the number of boxes you fill. You can begin by bringing home 10 empty boxes and setting out to fill them with things to discard and donate by the end of the week. Whichever method you choose, keep repeating until you've reached a level of minimalism that is appropriate for your lifestyle. A few more tips to ensure your success in this ultimately satisfying, but oftentimes labor-intensive process. Imagine as vividly as possible you enjoying the finished space. If you can picture how light and airy, how liberating your new space will feel when you've done all the work, you will more easily be able to do the necessary work. Consider partnering up with a friend. You can be accountable to each other, i.e. having both of you commit to a number of rooms or boxes, or you can even help each other, making the process social. It often helps to start with the easiest things. Once you get a taste of success, it gets easier and the momentum builds up so that you can tackle the more challenging things. Consider not buying anything at all for a predetermined length of time. Our click and buy culture conspires to have us wanting things all the time. There's a peace of mind that you gain by deciding to get off the consumption treadmill. Try it for a month, 2 months, a year, and notice how you are no longer so easily swayed by ads telling you that happiness is just another gizmo or bright shiny object away. Whether you're trying to decide to keep something or buy something new, ask yourself the question, is it worth trading my inner peace to have this item? Because that is in fact the ultimate question. The more we own, the more we give up our inner peace, as well as our time and energy, to keep the item in our space. Be very selective about the items we choose to call our own. Keeping our space decluttered to invite chi into our space consists of good habits. The first is to practice daily minimalism. Keep excess at bay, be protective of our space, time, and energy, and appreciate the fewer things we have on hand today. The second is to seasonally purge to reflect our evolution. Some things will break or get too worn out and need to be retired. Our kids will outgrow their clothes. We might have taken on a new hobby and given up an old one. Set up a seasonal system of donation to your favorite charity or neighbors with smaller kids. Again, this is about recognizing who you are today. Give up the things that no longer fit the present you and make space for things that support your best life today. The takeaways from this video are: the first step of transforming our space with chi involves making space by decluttering. Before we start decluttering, we must do the inner work of letting go of the past, allaying anxieties about the future, and embracing the present. We should adopt a minimalist outlook in which we rid ourselves of excess baggage, thereby bringing greater appreciation for the things we do keep in our lives. There are many methods for decluttering. Ultimately, we want to keep the goal in mind and maintain a state of minimalism by making sure that we're only surrounded by things that truly matter to us. You have completed Module 2. See you in Module 3.